The Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising here with the Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising female. So it could be a couple that is entwined to each other, and or going to do something that is going to be not pleasant to her at this time. She's ready for a new start here. Whatever new start she's doing, either emotionally, including financially, it's not going properly the way she expects. She's going to invest on something or do something with money that is going to overslap. She feels hurt by you right now. She really does. But I have to tell you, what she will not know later on in the future, in the very most recent future, is that, you know what, unfortunately, she's still in love with you. It is what it is. I have to say it. Okay? Now, that other person here, male, that is coming in here, well, he has another woman in his life. So that's probably something that he, you know, maybe he's a married man going through a separation of some kind, or simply because I sense it here, it's another man in between your circles. Okay? Could be a married man that has a crush on her all this time. It could be a friend, including. She's going to be looking back and wanting to return. Simple as that. It is what it is. It's going to be very something that she needs to know before doing, and it's going to be difficult for her to understand that she made mistakes. Okay? It's going to be very difficult, but here comes the Tower. Definitely, I feel that you're continuously, because you're in tune with yourself. You, my client. You know very well that at the end of the day, there is love between you and your spouse, my dear. Okay? This is her spread. And here, I'm going to tell you, it's where she cannot understand herself why things are going the way they went. How did it go this way or this far? But illumination will come around eventually. Okay? You just have to be patient, but you cannot just overdo things, because you have certain things of you that you just need to change completely. And if I'm sensing it, I can just imagine how she felt in the marriage all these years. So sometimes the universe gives you this hard pain that you have to go even through a divorce in order for you to change, because you were not willing to change. You would have been stuck on these energies for the rest of your life, and you would have had a miserable wife in your home. Okay? So sometimes, including the bad, and that's why I always say it is for your own best interest. The universe works in miraculous ways. So from the bad comes the good. You rebirth, you reborn yourself. Okay? So I'm pretty sure your wife every now and then gave you some comments and told you, you are this way, you are that way, you never this, you never that, you never change this. You know, you got to look back in these things, but don't go overboard with looking at those things over and over, because this is why you are where you are. Okay? Maybe it's something dramatic that of this had to take place in order for her to understand, and in order for you to understand that you just can't go on in a marriage living it the same way over and over and over. It gets boredom. It gets boredom. You have to constantly keep up with the relationship and the friendship and the intimacy and just all kinds of ways. You know, as you are a man right now as my client, but as I tell also the females, it goes even with you as a male. In a relationship, you have to nurture it. You have to value what you have at that time. And if you're needing something, go to your spouse before you go anywhere else, because this is what happens, or worse. You know, and just as the spouse needs to keep up with her beauty and all these things, so does the man. So it's just a little detail that goes a long way in such relationships. Okay? And maybe this, what you and her are going through, is something that the universe had no choice but to do so. Okay? And eventually, you know, both souls can unite each other. She's going to be very heartbroken, but she's going to be at peace and make some changes in her life later on. And the Tower moment is going to hit on her spirit, on her soul, and make some coming in together into her own self-being. Okay? And hopefully she'll know that you stood by her because you believed in her soul, in that love that you and her nurture still. She's not seeing it. She's not willing to even see it right now. But eventually she'll come to that sense here, okay? I do feel it though, okay? But it's the way you're acting that it's crazy right now for her. It is just crazy. It's your way or the highway. It's how you want it. It's when you want it. It's not gonna go that way, okay? It won't go that way. I'm telling you now. Because even though I see it in her energies here, it will just be the other way around instead. Okay? Because I still see another man here, potentially. Okay? Potentially. Don't get all tied up in a knot. But definitely, I feel that even though she does not know it, because again, she detached herself from that sense right now, even though she thinks she's not, or even though she thinks she's connected to the universe, well, she's not. What the spirits are telling me, that eventually there will be a comeback within this relationship. Okay? Eventually. And I hate it. I hate that I have to be firm sometimes, but I feel that I have to be with you. I will do my part, and I expect for you to do your part as I tell you. Okay? So you can succeed on these. Remember that once it's set in the universe, then the universe can act upon it. But also, just because it's here does not mean there will be the 100% guaranteed unless you continue or change certain things within your environment. Okay? Having said what I said, keep in mind, I don't want you to be talking to people and making them think that you're going off your head, being all. I don't want them to think negative of you. Okay? Because they don't know that you're getting predictions done. And you're acting accordingly. The way I say things, you're acting on it. And I get it that you're excited. But you cannot act and go around people, and people especially that talk to her, and say, well, my wife, my children. You can't, because you are a divorcee. So you need to act upon those things. See, you have to change a lot of things. Because not only does it show your character of how you've been, but also it acknowledges what she wants to make you look at. Okay? You need to understand that too. You have to keep the good secrets quietly, zip it up, and just act on what you're supposed to do and pretend as you're going by your life. You understand? Because you might backfire a lot of these good things. I'm telling you now. Angels of the universe, show me my sentinel here. Thank you. So what if you meet someone else? So what if she meets someone else? I still don't see any concrete relationships between you and her with anybody else, okay? It is what it is. Just put it that way. You have lessons to be learned in this separation, and so does she. Now, the way that you can do things for her is for you to continue your life as you're supposed to. But be aware of how you act and how you conduct yourself. Okay? It's what I'm sensing here. She's searching for something, but that search that she's doing, it's not going to be fulfilled because she did it wrong. She did her actions wrong. She's using the benefit of this earth, of this universe, and she's using it, she thinks in a positive way, but it's not. So that will definitely backfire. And she's seeing certain things because through somebody's eyes, and so she's feeling that those are the things that are going to come about in her life, and it's just not going to go that way. And so the earth itself will find that way into your relationship here, but it's going to take some time. And let me just say that even though it's here, it just depends on how you change your energies, on how you perceive the energies as well. But you have to let her continue her path and let her discover to herself that there are things that she went ahead and wandered off and looked, and it led her right back to where she belongs. Okay? Being that you and her are a soul connection, it does not literally mean that you will be combined again in this earthly world. There's a big possibility that it can happen. But until she understands and realizes that, we have a long way to go there. Okay, so I will do my part, and then I expect for you to do the same as well, and then we'll let the universe take action on that. Okay, there's only so much things that we can do, and the fact is that you continue your affirmations and maintain yourself positive. When I ask you to do something, please do so and continue doing, or stop doing whatever it is that I ask you to, because it's crucial to how we work, or how I work, in order to succeed. And in order for me to succeed, especially with her here, okay? So if you do something against with those energies, then we're not going to succeed, and it's going to be my time, my energy, and your hard work and your money gone to drain. And it will take tremendous more work to do this, more money, and I would have to rethink it if I want to do something all over again, because I'm already knowing and getting the sense of how it is to be with you and work with you. So literally, I mean, when I'm doing certain things, including even in the readings, I already sense her energy of how she felt within this relationship. And let me say this, it's not that I'm saying you were a bad person or a bad parent or a bad husband. No, I'm sensing from her angle, from her point of view. No one is perfect, but this is how I'm sensing it. Okay? And that does not mean that she was perfect, or that she, she was all Miss Goody Two-Shoes. No, it means that through her eyes, I get to know the person that she was in that relationship. Okay? So, in other words, and I am saying this because right now her energies just told me, why are you helping him? If you're not truly understanding how I felt within this relationship, well, you might think, okay, well, I was a good person, I was a good husband, I was a good, what does she mean by it? It just depends on the person itself. You don't have to be you don't have to do something dramatic for them to completely hurt. The fact that you ignored her in one conversation means that's it. The whole world is over. Because it just means that at that time, or at that point, she was needing a specific attention toward her husband and didn't get it. It's a per se. I'm not saying it happened, but I'm just giving you an example. And so all it took is that one time to do something that way that you never thought will go out of proportion. And it stayed in that, and if they feel neglected, and that neglect stays and builds according to how she led her life before you. That neglect, if she was neglected by her parents by any means, and then you neglect her in one thing, then it will stay forever, and that will be the crush of the relationship. It just depends on each person, energies and situations prior to being engaged or married to someone. Just depends. If they had a good childhood, who was the favorite parent? I mean, they manipulate their life according to how they also lived it as well. Okay? So it's a per se. I'm not saying you went through all those things, but it's an example that I'm giving you. You understand? But moving forward, I don't want to hear bringing back things, because bringing back negative things from the past is going to hinder our work relations here. And it's going to hinder from us concluding where we want to move ahead to. Okay? Moving forward is thinking from today further on, today, tomorrow, and in the future. That's what we're thinking at from this point on. And that's how I want you to think. I want you to think as yourself, as who you are now in this lifetime, at this moment. You are a father, a single father, and you're going to act upon it. And you're going to do your affirmations. Send the love and whatnot to your ex, because that's what she is, and let those energies set in, and then we'll continue the rest. Having said that, does not mean that you're giving up on this person, because the love is still there. She's doing her own thing. So in order for you to reunite with this person, it's all about accepting who we are now at this time. Okay? It's all about accepting who you become and who has she become. And believe it or not, right now you're in love, like tremendously. But you are in love more than ever now that you were when you were married to her, because it's the process of when someone goes through, when they're going through a separation or divorce. It's how they feel, and before and after. And so what it tells me is that you're in love with her now more than anything, because you are in love with all those memories with who she was. But she's not that person anymore. You understand? Even though she still has stored feelings for you, she is not that person anymore. So you're going to have to learn to love who she becomes, including her her self-being, because she's taking control of herself. She is not a nice woman anymore, you know, according to how she was before in your marriage. She is empowered of herself, which is still a good thing. And so she's taking control of herself, and it's a good thing. So now you have to learn to love who she is. I don't care if she, you know, some people, when they go through divorce, they change their names, they change all kinds of stuff. So you're going to have to learn to love all that too as well. Okay? As well as she will have to learn to love that person too, who you become. Because you have to, and you will change in order to succeed in such relationships. You cannot go back and expect someone to come back to you for who you were, because then they will leave you like that. Okay? And it goes both ways. Again, I wish you the best, and make the decisions that are best suited for you as always. Okay? Thank you.